Polygon Matic, is it really going to take over and change cryptos as we know them? Or is it a project that maybe we should pass on? That's what I've set out to find out today. And I think by the end of this video, we're going to be able to decide if this is an investment you believe is worth pursuing or not. We're going to cover everything you need to know, from how this started, which problems it solves, why it's exciting, and some potential risks that you may want to consider before hopping in, because of course, every single investment has potential risks and potential upsides, and it's important to know all sides of that equation. Also, this is going to be a very non-technical presentation, so if you have zero crypto experience, you should still be able to follow along. I've noticed that videos on Polygon Matic tend to be very technical, and you pretty much have to be a developer to understand all the terminology. I wanted to make sure that this was completely accessible. And in order to make this even easier to follow along, I spent a few hours putting together this handy dandy flowchart. So we're going to go through this entire chart. If you appreciate my efforts here, all I ask is for a like and a subscribe on this video. And also, if you want to download, if you want to be able to get a PDF of this chart and all the other charts that I've made, I'm a flowchart addict. You can join the Patreon. You're able to download each and every single one of those there. Also on the Patreon, you get private content, you get occasional private live streams, you get all of my buy alerts for cryptos and stocks. There's a ton going on there. I believe there's 5 open spots. You'll want to snatch one of those up ASAP if you are interested and you like what you see here. So it launched in 2017 by Jayanti Kanani, Sandeep Nawal, and Anura Arjun. Hopefully I said those all correctly. And they had their ICO in April 2019. And at this point in time, it was called the Matic Network. They raised $5.6 million on the Binance Launchpad in 2019 through their initial coin offering. And then their mainnet went live in 2020. And really, this went live at the perfect time, because this is right when Ethereum gas fees were getting higher and higher and higher. And there was tons of discussions about how is this going to even be feasible. And then they went live, and that's one of the problems that they solve. And they got even more attention because of that perfect timing. Now, what's the overarching goal of this project? This is pulled straight from their website: to create a framework for building and connecting Ethereum-capable blockchain networks. Don't worry, we're going to break that down so you really understand what that means. Make building Ethereum better. That's about as simple as we could possibly put it. Right now, building on Ethereum or building anything blockchain-wise is very difficult, very technical, not user-friendly, and they're aiming to fix that. So there's 3 major problems with developing on Ethereum that they aim to fix. Low throughput, which is basically the transactions on the network. Not user-friendly, and lack of choice in options when building, and certain governance issues when building on the Ethereum network. Now, they wanted to put this on the Ethereum network because of the network effect of Ethereum. This is a huge network with tons of programs being built on it. They have the name recognition. So they wanted to pull some of that name recognition for their project instead of having to build their own chain, hope to get users there. They already know that there are users on the Ethereum network, and they're like, hey, we can make this easier. So how are they going to solve these 3 issues? We're going to break down each and every one, starting with the low throughput issue. So this is solved with their layer 2 scaling. So with layer 2, they are able to do more transactions per second. There's some other benefits as well. Here's my very technical example of layer 1 and layer 2. And here are some advantages. So you have security and the network effects of the Ethereum network, but you get far more transactions per second because not all the transactions are actually recorded on the Ethereum chain. And I have here that this is already a thing. They're not the first to do this. They're not the first to have layer 2, not even by any stretch of the imagination. But their goal is to do it best, and especially on the Ethereum network. Here's an example that I like to use when explaining layer 2s. So let's say your boss asked you to do some task, and a part of that task is 10 individual tasks before the main task is complete. Now, there's 2 ways that you could report to your boss. You could report to him every single task along the way, each of those 10 tasks, or you could just let him know at the end, hey, the full overarching project is complete. All these 10 tasks are done. So with layer 1, or on the blockchain, you're putting every single task on the chain. With layer 2, you're putting all the information on the chain, but not all the individual details are on the chain. So it's more just the final results are put on the actual blockchain, and then that way more transactions can be processed. And this isn't even a thing that started with blockchains. This is something that you've probably used. A service like Venmo is technically a layer 2 of types, where you are doing transactions on top of slower moving transactions, which is also on top of even slower moving transactions between banks and other banks. So this is something that's already used, and blockchains are adopting it because the transaction per second issue is a huge issue if blockchains are actually going to scale worldwide and be used in everyday transactions. And another note here, don't forget the sidechains. They not only have layer 2 as an option, but they also have sidechains as an option. Now, with sidechains, you don't get the same security as the Ethereum network, but you get opportunities for even more transactions per second. We're not going to go into the technicals on this video on sidechains. And then we have the next issue, which is the Ethereum network isn't the most user-friendly, and they're aiming to solve this. And by not user-friendly, this is both on the user end, actually using these applications. They're fairly difficult to use, but even more difficult to actually develop programs on the Ethereum network. And they're aiming to solve this. There's a few ways that they're trying to solve this. First, with preset blockchain network one-click deployments. So they have these kind of defaults for developers to use, and they say it's just one click, and then it kind of gives you a template to build on. You can kind of think of it as the difference between having to build a website, typing HTML code, or using a site like Wix or WordPress or something like that to help build that website for you. This is something that will inherently happen as blockchains get more popular. Someone will do this and make it easier and easier to build blockchains and decentralized applications. And second, a focus on documentation and teaching material, which is obviously very important. If you want developers to build on your network, you have to teach them how to do it, and you have to make it easy for them to look up the issues and the problems that they're trying to solve. And then third, built-in interoperability protocols for applications to communicate from Ethereum, from the Ethereum network, to other blockchain networks. So this is something that's literally just built in to this ecosystem. The ability, interoperability is the ability for blockchains to communicate with one another. And this is a major issue with cryptos in general, because right now they're built in these silos. They may be smart in their self, but they're kind of dumb in that they don't communicate with other cryptocurrencies. And this is something that they're trying to tackle. And then the third issue is the lack of choice and options when developing on the Ethereum network. Now, I have a note here. Currently, projects on the Ethereum network share throughput, lack of customization, and rely on Ethereum's governance structure. So they're giving some more options there. Solved with options. 4 different layers to build on 4 different types of projects. So they have just options, really, in general. So here's 4 different layers. Starting with the top, the Ethereum layer. This one is a little bit wordy, so just bear with me for a second. The Ethereum layer, chains can use Ethereum directly if they want to. This isn't necessary to use on this network. It's used for staking and communication between Polygon and Ethereum projects. Polygon does not have any core functionality that relies on Ethereum, so you don't have to use this if you don't want to. It's basically high security and smart contracts running on the Ethereum network. Then we have the security layer, and you can think of this as a validator service. So it's a kind of pay-as-you-go service that regularly checks up on transactions to make sure your program and the transactions on your program are on the up and up. And again, this is an optional service. And then we have a mandatory layer. This is the Polygon and Networks layer. This deals with the functionality of a blockchain. So keeping track of transactions, producing blocks, facilitating the actual blockchain itself. And then the execution layer, which is exactly as it sounds, helps execute transactions on the blockchain. And this is made to be changed and built on. So everything in this network is made to be tinkered with and built on. It's made to build better things on. It's a template, basically. And they're trying to be the best template out there. Now let's get into some summaries. Oh, what is this? Oh, how'd that get there? I don't know, you better do it anyways. But why is this project exciting? So we have some major reasons here. Cryptos are still very new, and scaling is a major issue. So this is an issue that someone's going to solve, and whoever solves it is going to benefit handsomely from solving it, and they seem to be one of the major players making some headway here. Second, it fills an obvious need in the crypto space, and that's the ease to build on a network, to build these decentralized apps. I've talked to a few developers, and they have said it's so darn hard to build these apps. These programming languages are tough. The documentation isn't always great. It's tough, and it's an obvious need for someone to figure this out, to make it easier for developers. And whoever has the easiest system is going to have developers gravitate towards that system because they're not going to want to work hard if they don't have to. And then third, this could be massive in India. Now, I say this is because it started in India. The 3 founders are from India, and India is huge. So as cryptos get bigger in India, this is going to be a major player, and there are billions of people in India who may invest and want to be a part of this network. And then 4, many popular projects are already using their services. So here are some of the projects already using Polygon Matic to help facilitate their apps and utilizing their services. Then of course we have some risks that we need to talk about. First off is competition. There are other blockchains trying to do similar things. Polkadot is a major one, a major contender here, and they may not be the winner. We don't know right now who exactly is going to be, the take-it-all winner, and there's probably going to be a long tail where the winner gets most of the market share and then it dramatically dips after that. Of course, we also have the risk of volatility with these coins. Any given coin, especially an altcoin like this is a larger altcoin, but it can still see huge sways in price, and you could buy today and it could dip 20% tomorrow, and there's really no way of knowing if that's going to happen or not. And none of this is financial advice. I'm not telling you to buy, I'm not telling you to sell, I'm not telling you anything. You make your own investment decisions. And then another risk that I see is some dependence on the Ethereum network. Now, they do say that they don't need Ethereum, but there's a heavy focus on Ethereum. So if Ethereum loses popularity, they could lose popularity as well, and I see that as a potential risk. So that is going to do it. I hope that this helped you build a better picture of what's going on with Polygon Matic, why it's valuable, why it's exciting, and what you need to consider before investing. If you want to know more about this crypto and other investments that I'm digging my fingers into, make sure you subscribe to this channel and join the Patreon if you want even more access. So I would like to thank you for watching, and I hope you have a profitable day.